When we have homeowners who are relocating into the Emerald Coast, they always look at the main costs, right? So the cost to purchase the house, the cost for homeowners insurance, the cost for property taxes, but there are some other costs associated with purchasing real estate here. I'm going to be walking you through the entire process, kind of talking about some hidden costs that you might not know of when purchasing a house within the Emerald Coast. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, these videos are not the most exciting ones, but they are the most important. We want to make sure that with the fun stuff, with all the beach scenes, with the drive-thrus and all these things, we are also educating you on the critical points if you are planning on calling this place your next home. Majority of the costs that I am going to be going over are going to be those costs that you will see once you are under contract. So once you get that signed paperwork from both the buy side and also the sell side, some costs to expect during the process. But there's just one cost that I do want to throw out there that the majority of you guys, you know what this is, but we are going to be talking about that earnest money, making sure this is something that you do have before really getting serious about purchasing real estate here. What is that earnest money? It's essentially a promissory note, right? And it's usually 1% of the purchase price. A deposit that you do put down that will be held by the title company and then applied to all your closing costs come closing day. So just to give you a quick example, let's say you're purchasing a $400,000 house. If we are following that 1% rule, you would have to have that $4,000 ready to go so that once they sign the paperwork, you can submit that within the next 3 to 5 days to title company, which they will then hold and apply to everything come closing day. All right, we got past that. You did it. Let's say that you're in a situation now where we have an agreed upon contract where both you have signed and then also the seller has signed. What costs can you expect when we are going through the process? The majority of these costs are going to be inspections. And for those of you who do not watch our channel, I'm from Denver, Colorado, and there were a few inspections that I was not expecting coming down here as opposed to when I was back in Colorado. And there's actually some inspections back in Colorado that we did that we really don't do here in the Emerald Coast. And when you do finally get under contract, we are going to have recommendations for you when we are talking about these inspections. These are people that we have used, that we trust, that we know that they do a quality job when doing the inspections on these properties. The reason I say this is there are some times where you guys go out and decide to find your own inspector outside of our recommendations, and there has been a few speed bumps with that where we have inspectors come in, they really don't have all that much experience, they do things in a way that really gums up the process of this transaction, and we have had to extend sometimes these contracts due to these, I guess you could say, low-grade inspectors, sometimes that do get hired. That's why we throw you a list of people that we trust and that many buyers have used in the past, and they have always done such a fantastic job. These numbers I'm throwing out are going to be very broad, guys. So I'm going to be throwing you a range, but it could be a little bit more or it could be a little bit less, depending on who you decide to choose for that inspector. And who's to say you're not watching this video 2 years later and the prices are a little bit higher, a little bit lower? Who really knows? So if we're talking about your general inspection, this is your main inspection that you get to make sure the property is in great condition, that there's nothing falling apart, that we don't have to worry about any structural issues, electrical issues, stuff like that. You're typically looking at $350 to $550 just for that general inspection. With the general inspection, though, there are a few things that we need to add on top of that to make sure that you can get insured for the property, because the insurance companies most likely are going to be asking for these things. One of those being the 4-point inspection. It's pretty much just a condensed, very simplified version of your general inspection that insurance wants to see to make sure that everything is satisfactory if they are going to insure this property for you. Typically what I have seen with those, in addition to that initial $350 to $550, plan on paying about $130 to $140 on top of that for your 4-point inspection. And then another thing that the insurance most likely will ask for is going to be your wind mitigation inspection. This is going to mainly be applied to the roof to make sure the roof is in good condition. We do get weather here, guys. We just had a tropical storm pass by, which honestly really wasn't that bad. We got a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. I actually like the rain because it makes my grass a little bit greener in the summertime. I'd say 90% of the time, though, the insurance is going to be asking for those. With that being said, I have run into instances where when you have a newer property built within the last year or two, insurance doesn't ask for these reports. So I 100% have to leave it on the insurance, whatever they request. It's not up to me. I'm just telling you that about 90% of the time, expect that you are going to have to pay for these things if you are looking to have to insure the property. The other inspection that actually I was introduced to for the first time that we did relocate down here is going to be your WDO, which is your wood destroying organisms inspection. I pretty much just call it your termite inspection. They need to make sure your house is not falling apart. due to termites. And this WDO inspection, I'd say on average, you're looking at like a median price of like right around $150. And I'd say these are super important. Sometimes when you do have some of these WDO inspectors, they will also offer up a termite bond. And that termite bond, essentially, it's like an insurance policy. They come out annually to inspect the property to make sure you don't have termites. But if for some reason they do miss something, you pretty much have that insurance policy against termites. That way, ultimately, you are going to be covered. One inspection that I was super used to, and I've had a few of you guys ask me about, is going to be a sewer scope inspection. And that is something that is not all too common in this area. Where I came from back in Denver, Colorado, we always got a sewer scope because we had that expansive soil that was constantly moving our sewer lines, putting the humps in them, breaking it if it's a clay pipe. Here, not so much. I've only had a handful of buyers who have actually asked for that sewer scope, but it really isn't all that common in this area. Another thing that you do want to look at, because we do have a lot of properties that are on septic, with septic, you are going to want to make sure that thing is drained and then also inspected and certified by the right company. If you are looking at purchasing a house with a septic, expect for that to be like right around $400. I think there's some companies who will do it for $375, where they completely pump out the tank, inspect it to make sure it's in great condition, because the last thing you want is to have that septic falling apart and then the next couple of years you're having to replace it, where we're then talking like tens of thousands of dollars to replace that septic. Alright guys, I'm going to get right back into this. First things first though, if you are looking at purchasing real estate here in the Emerald Coast, we are your top relocation experts. Give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below there, we always answer, it doesn't matter day or time. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, just want to follow along and educate yourself, make sure you smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. Also, we have that relocation guide. If this is your first time watching and you really want to dive into what it looks like to relocate into the area, give you a ton of awesome information about the area, make sure you scan this QR code. It's going to be up in one of these corners right here. It is an awesome resource, something to help educate you even further past these videos. One other big expense that I guess you could technically say it's a part of inspection, but not really. And we always try and look for this and ask that listing agent for it. If we are looking to offer on a property, is going to be a survey. If you were getting a loan, again, like I said, it's 100% up to the lender and title company. 95% of the time, they are going to want a survey. If that seller does not have a current survey, then that's something that we are going to have to purchase. What are you looking at? With a new survey, you're looking at like $800 to $1,200 in order to get that survey. Obviously, it depends on the size of the property, how much acreage you're on, but it is something that potentially could be required if the seller does not have one on hand. One last cost that I did want to throw out there before we do break into those closing costs, pretty much what to expect when you're looking at that final ALTA or that final CD, is going to be the appraisal. Now, the appraisal, I am going to do my best to tell you what the range is on that, but ultimately it's going to be up to the lender that you do use and what they are charging, who are they hiring for that appraisal. I've seen anywhere between like $500 to $800. A lot of lenders too, what they'll do is they'll roll that into your closing cost, so it's paid at closing, so you're not paying for it out of pocket. And I've also ran into scenarios where some lenders will come back and like, you know what, we don't require an appraisal on this. They do pretty much like a virtual thing and like, no, we feel pretty good about the value of this property. No need to do an appraisal, which is nice, but 95% of the time, they are looking at getting an appraisal. Now you're at the closing table. What can you expect when you're looking at that final CD? What costs are kind of going to be laid out? So the ultimate one is going to be title, because even in the state of Florida on our contracts, what we have is pretty much if the buyer selects the title company, then they're going to be paying for that title insurance. If seller picks it, then they are going to be paying for that title insurance. So you're going to see a ton of costs from title, with title insurance, with closing fees, with recording fees, doc stamp fees. All these different fees are going to be laid out. And prior to you purchasing a house, we don't mind doing a quick estimate, kind of showing you what this might be. Also, if you have a lender, they give you like a preliminary report on what costs to expect at the closing table. Then on top of that, if you're getting a loan, you're going to have all your loan origination fees. I cannot speak to that. It all depends on whether you're buying down points, what kind of loan it is, all the different variables that can go into those lender fees. Ultimately, when we're talking about closing fees, this is unique to every single situation, unique to every single buyer. If you have more questions on this when you're getting serious about purchasing real estate here in the Emerald Coast, we don't mind having that conversation, setting you up on a net sheet to kind of show you what those costs potentially might be. All right, so now you've signed the paperwork, you're good to go. What costs could you kind of look at after after the fact. I kind of already mentioned that termite bond where I've seen them probably around $250 to $300. Sometimes they could get a little bit more expensive than that. Essentially what they're going to do with that is they're going to go around, they have bait stations around the house. They're going to make sure those bait stations are full. They're going to do those annual inspections, but I highly recommend that you do not move forward without having a termite bond in place, and that's something that you're going to be paying annually. Another thing to think about is because we have a lot of homes here that do have pools, is if you want to maintain the pool yourself or if you want to pay for a company to do that. When we were paying for a pool company, I think we were paying somewhere around $200 a month for them to come out once a week and they maintain the pool. If you have zero experience with the pool whatsoever, I'd recommend with the pool at least having a pool company for 6 months, and then if that's something you want to take on, taking it on, just to learn the chemicals, just to learn the cleaning schedules, the filters, all the great things, because they will kind of talk, or at least from my experience, a lot of these companies are great about kind of educating you on this, on how they maintain the pool, how to keep an eye out for your chemicals. But if it's something you don't even want to take on, then just get a pool plan, right? Have a pool guy come out once a week. It's really not that bad.
Hey, I noticed you got a new pool cleaner today. How is he? We're thinking about changing services.
I gotta get, hang on. You mean yesterday, right?
But if you are looking at purchasing a house with a pool, it's definitely something that you have to think about in regards to costs. One last thing that I did want to throw out there, guys, is they have HVAC plans here, and you might look at it and be like, why do I need an HVAC plan? Or maybe you love HVAC plans. Well, they come out annually and they maintenance your HVAC. One thing about this area that I try my best to warn people about is we get this algae growth within the drain line of most of our HVAC units, and that needs to be cleaned out. At least, I clean mine out once a quarter, so 4 times a year. I probably do overboard. I just personally don't want it backing up and then shutting off my furnace, but that is something that you're going to have to do. So if you do not know how to do that, or you don't want to learn how to do that, I highly recommend having some type of an HVAC maintenance plan. That way you know that they are doing what needs to be done to make sure that line's cleaned out, because the last thing you want is for it to be a 90-degree day, crazy hot in the house, and your HVAC system just shuts off. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. If you are looking at purchasing real estate here in the Emerald Coast, give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter day or time. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, just want to follow along and educate yourself, make sure you smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time I put out a brand new video. And we now have that brand new relocation guide. So if you do want to click on it, kind of educate yourself on the area outside of these videos, I'm going to put a QR code up in one of these corners. Make sure you scan that one right there. Check out our cool relocation guide. We went extreme with this. We had the professionals go out and make something beautiful. So I highly recommend going and check that out if you want to educate yourself a little bit more. Till next time, we love you. Bye.